Hello everyone, very welcome to ixamBee. My name is Chandraprakash Joshi, former AGM RBI. It is not that I am so smart. This is what Albert Einstein said. It is that I stay with problems longer. Try to understand the genius is saying you have to spend time, and here at ixamBee we are giving you the content, the guidance that helps you preparation 50% faster. Subscribe the channel if you have not done yet, and in this video I am discussing 300 most important questions. This is the part 2 of the video. 300 important questions which are going to be there for RBI Grade B 2022. In previous years from this series, large number of questions have been asked in the real exam. This is the question I asked in the last video. The price of the sovereign gold bond is fixed in Indian rupees based on simple average closing price of 999 purity gold of how many days? So the correct answer, and most of you have written it, correct answer here is 3 days. What is sovereign gold bond? Sovereign gold bond scheme was launched in November 15 with an objective to cut down the demand for physical gold, because physical gold there are challenges in storage, there are problem of stealing, then there are liquidity issues, sometimes you have to go somewhere to sell it, there are then quality issues. As a part of domestic saving, people do in gold. So the idea here is for financial saving. So these sovereign gold bond are denominated in multiple of grams of gold with a basic unit of 1 gram. It is like that you are buying gold, but you are not buying physical gold, rather you are buying a gold bond. The tenor of the bond will be for a period of 8 years with exit option after 5th year. So after 5 years one can sell it, to be exercised on the next interest payment date. So on that you are getting interest payment. As it happens in case of any bond, the minimum permissible investment in 1 gram of gold and the maximum is 4 kg for an individual, 4 kg for HUF Hindu undivided family, and 20 kg for trust and similar entities per financial year. Sovereign gold bond comes with 2.5% coupon attached and tax advantage for its investor. So in addition to this, the increase in the price of the gold which we expect, and that's why we invest in gold, you are getting this much of interest here. So 2.5%. The price of the bond is fixed in INR on the basis of the simple average closing price of the 999 purity gold of last 3 days. This is what was asked in the question, and the price is published by Indian Bullion and Jeweler Association, IBJA, which is taken into account. First question for today: which of the following statement is or are correct? Read these 3 statements carefully. International Financial Service Center Authority is a statutory body. In India, IFSCA is the single body in charge of the creation and regulation of the financial good, financial services and financial institutions. IFSCA board has no representation from other regulatory bodies in India, and IFSCA has its headquarters in Mumbai. For many of you, I think it is going to be difficult, but if you read these now, the answer options, then it may become better. First and second are correct here. These are the right choices. Read this note, and whenever you do mock test at ixamBee, the free mock test also, you will get all these answer explanation which helps you in preparation. Say here you are reading so much about this, so not only that what is asked in the question can be framed in different way in the real exam. So IFSCA is a unified authority for the development and regulation of the financial product, financial services and financial institutions in the International Financial Services Center, IFSC, in India. It's a statutory body established on April 27, 20 under the International Financial Service Central Authority Act 19, headquartered in Gandhinagar in Gujarat. This is not in Mumbai, so everything is not in Mumbai. What you have to remember, what is outside Mumbai? Say for example, headquarter of SIDBI. Many times it is asked, headquarter of IRDA. These are not in Mumbai. Prior to establishment of IFSCA, the domestic financial regulators, namely RBI, SEBI, PFRDA, IRDI, regulate the business of IFSC. As the dynamic nature of the business of IFSC requires a high degree of inter-regulatory coordination within the financial sector, IFSCA has been established as a unified regulator. So this is also another regulator. The authority comprises of chairperson of the authority, and the current chairman is Mr. Injeti Srinivas. You remember I Srinivas if you don't remember Injeti. A member of each from RBI, SEBI, IRDA, PFRDA, and 2 members are from the Ministry of Finance. So all regulatory authorities are represented here. Now this one. Individuals can purchase government securities directly through a RDG account opened with RBI. So what is the full form of RDG? Because here in the question the G only thing is asked, but you have to remember RDG, right? And the correct answer is this is gilt. Gilt is the word used for the government securities. So gilt is something like gold. Individuals can now directly purchase T-bills, treasury bills, dated securities, government securities, sovereign gold bond we just discussed, or state development loan. These are issued by the state governments from primary as well as secondary market. So understand what is primary market, secondary market. Primary market means when you are directly buying it from the issuer. This is under the RBI retail direct scheme. As per the scheme, retail investors will have the facility to open an online retail direct account, which is called RDG account with the RBI. Now you have an opportunity to open an account with RBI, not for the purpose of keeping your money. It's not a saving account, but an account for purchasing government securities. This RDG account of individual can be used in particular the issuance of government securities and secondary market operations through the scheme-based NDS-OM. What is the full form of NDS-OM? Negotiated Dealing System. And OM is? I am not telling. You write in the comment. 23. In the Financial Inclusion Index of RBI. So now you know who prepares Financial Inclusion Index. That may be an exam question. The parameter, which parameter has the highest weightage? And weightage also you have to know, because here excess, so if you don't know, sorry, excess is given 2 times, and also uses. So I guess from these two the correct answer is there. But now you have to tell the percentage also. And it is uses. The correct answer with all the detail is excess is 35%, usage is 45%, and quality is 20%. So this is a comprehensive index incorporating details of banking, investment, insurance, post, as well as other pension sector in consultation with government and respective sectoral regulator. Under Sustainable Development Goal, remember last time I showed you all 17 SDGs, which goal is related to climate action, and I mentioned about climate action if you have been listening to my video carefully, because in that time the one of the option was climate action is not there. So again remember, that's a recap for you. So 13 is climate action, and climate is one of very important agenda. I told you, remember very well, first, second, third, fourth, easy to remember actually. Poverty, hunger, health, education. 17 also about partnership for all the goals. Remember all 17, very important for exam. Which of the following statement is correct regarding Jal Jeevan Mission? Statement 1, Jal Jeevan Mission was launched in 2019. The tagline for the mission is Har Ghar Jal. The focus of the mission is on assured and regular potable water service delivery at household level, that is water supply in adequate quantity, and the quantity is defined as like 100 liter per person per day. Now this third one is not correct, because as per the Jal Jeevan Mission, you see what is the target supply is 55 liters of water per person per day, not 100, to every rural household through functional household tap connector. So every household will have tap by 2024, and Ministry of Jal Shakti is the nodal ministry. Launch date is correct. It is centrally sponsored scheme. 90% in the hilly state, Himalayan state, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh and northeastern state, 90% is by central government, and in UT 100% of course by central government, 50-50 for rest of the state. Budget allocation will not be asked, but if you can remember, nothing like that. The Pradhan Mantri Innovative Learning Program was started by Ministry of Education to provide guidance from renowned prominent person in the field of selected talented student. What is the scheme better known as? What's the name of the scheme? See the options. It is Dhruv. The Ministry of Education launched this scheme, Pradhan Mantri Innovative Learning Program, Dhruv. The objective is to encourage talented students to realize their full potential and contribute to the society. And it is named Dhruv on the name of Dhruv Star, the pole star. Every student selected in this program will be called as Dhruv Tara. Dhruv Tara, Dhruv Star. The program covers mainly science and performing arts. The settlement of which of the following instrument is facilitated by CCIL? And I hope you know what is CCIL, what is the important job CCIL is doing, Clearing Corporation of India Limited. Please know that. So here choose an answer here. The correct one is government securities. So CCIL is working since 2001 to provide clearing and settlement of transaction in GSEC, government securities. We discussed about now private people also able to buy government securities from RBI, foreign exchange. So for government securities, foreign exchange and money market in the country, CCIL acts as a central counterparty in various segments of the financial market regulated by RBI. Moreover, CCIL provides non-guaranteed settlement in the rupee-dominated interest rate derivative like interest rate swaps, forward rate market agreement. The Integrated Ombudsman Scheme 2021 by RBI is not applicable to which of the following? Integrated. So which are not coming under this? Which are the institutions? Commercial bank. I think easy one to decide that. First ombudsman scheme had been from there. RRBs, cooperative bank, HFCs, housing finance companies, deposit taking NBFCs. I don't think it is difficult to guess if you have read about the scheme. Housing finance companies are outside it because all banks are covered under ombudsman scheme, and also deposit taking NBFCs. Deposit taking NBFCs are quite similar to bank, because otherwise NBFCs are not allowed to take deposits. I have discussed many a time, you have to understand the difference between NBFC and a bank. So one primary difference is, except the deposit taking NBFCs are not allowed to take deposit. One important difference. And another important difference is NBFCs are not part of the payment and settlement system. They cannot issue check. In November 21, RBI came out with Integrated Ombudsman Scheme 21. So that is integrating 3 ombudsman scheme. That is Banking Ombudsman, NBFC Ombudsman, and Ombudsman for digital transactions. So why so many ombudsman? RBI said we will have one ombudsman. The scheme covers the following regulated entities. Regulated, I mean to say here, RBI regulated commercial bank, RRBs, scheduled primary urban cooperative bank, non-scheduled primary urban cooperative bank with deposit size of rupees 50 crore and above as on the date. Remember, the small packs, say for example, packs are kind of cooperative bank, primary agriculture cooperative society. So these are not coming here. I don't know whether in the exam the question comes to that depth, but you have to understand this. So those cooperative bank, urban cooperative bank having more than the 50 crore of deposit are covered in this. All NBFCs excluding HFCs, housing finance companies, are not covered. All system participant as defined under the scheme. Okay. In the budget 22-23, the current budget, the guarantee cover under the emergency credit line ECLGS was expanded by 50,000 crore. What is the following entity gives guarantee under this scheme for MSME loan? And this is the additional information you got here because this scheme is for MSME loan. NCGTC, National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company, is the correct answer here. This provides 100% guarantee under this facility, and in this budget 50,000 crore is expended. So total under this scheme is now 5 lakh crore, and the scheme is also extended till March 2023. This much of additional information you are getting in one question. That's why I always say that in one question, actually, there are 5-10 questions you are getting. So in 300 questions, we are covering maybe 1000 questions. Who has been appointed as Vice Chairman of the Niti Aayog by Center recently? Do you know who is the Chairman of Niti Aayog? That is very interesting question. So Chairman by de facto is Prime Minister of the country. And after the Planning Commission was abolished in 2015, Modi government came out with, I shall say NDA government came out with Planning Commission. Came out with Niti Aayog. So Planning Commission earlier it used to be starting from the Nehru's time, and their Planning Commission also chairman used to be the Prime Minister. Here Mr. Amitabh Kant is continuing as a CEO. So don't get confused between the two, because you will find Mr. Amitabh Kant more visible in the media. And appointment committee, this appointment committee in April 2022 appointed Suman K. Beri as the Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog. And earlier Mr. Beri was a member of the Economic Advisory Committee of the Council of the Prime Minister, of the Statistical Commission and Technical Advisory Committee, and he was DG, Director General of the National Council of Applied Research. To enable regulated and orderly growth of the fintech ecosystem, RBI in August 19 became one of the few countries that have their own regulatory sandbox system. I made a video about the sandbox system because this has been used by RBI, SEBI for fast approval of lot of experimentation has to be done in the tech aspect, the fintech aspect. So under this regulatory sandbox, what is the theme of the fourth cohort? You have to know this, that there had been 4 cohorts till now, and for the fourth cohort the theme is prevention and mitigation of financial frauds. So regulatory sandbox approval, this mechanism RBI is set up as per the recommendation of the Working Group on Fintech and Digital Banking set up by Financial Stability and Development Council FSDC subcommittee, and after the consultation with various stakeholders, RBI came out with a framework in August 19. The first cohort was a retail payment. The focus was on retail payment first. Then the second cohort was cross-border payment. Remember this. The third one, MSME lending. And the fourth cohort is what I asked in the question, prevention and mitigation of the financial fraud. Based on the experience gained from the first and second cohort and the feedback from the stakeholders, the enabling framework for regulatory sandbox was updated to include on-tap application. That facility is there, so that the approval mechanism can be made faster. Which of the following statement are correct about the inflation? Headline inflation and core inflation. You have to understand these two to answer this. Headline inflation include inflation of food and energy prices. I think you know this. Core inflation includes inflation of food and energy prices. Shall not create confusion. So, if you remember in school days, we used to study the earth like this. So, this is the core part of the earth. So, core part here about the inflation has something in core. So, something on the periphery, additional. So, this additional is what? Food and fuel prices. So, these are not included in core inflation. First one is correct. Headline inflation is less volatile than the core inflation. Headline inflation include food and fuel. So, how it will be less volatile? Because food and fuel are more volatile. CPI measures headline inflation, that you shall know. Because RBI takes into account CPI. I discussed last time also what is the range for RBI to maintain inflation. The mandate given is 4% plus minus 2%, which is 2% to 6%. So, that is what inflation? CPI inflation, consumer price index. So, that includes food and fuel item. Food and fuel are more volatile in terms of the price fluctuations. That's why there is another concept of core inflation which eliminates these two, which is studied, but we are measuring core inflation, CPI, which is headline inflation. That's why A and D are correct. eQuBare. What is eQuBare? I am not reading all the options. You read this. For the interest of time, I am moving to the answer. This is the name of core banking solution of RBI. You know what is core banking solution? Like a bank has so many branches. Earlier, before the CBS was there, suppose your account is in Delhi and your family is in Lucknow. So, how are you going to send the money from Lucknow to Delhi? So, you can do money order or you can do demand draft. But your account used to be like, my account is in Delhi branch of say State Bank of India, New Delhi branch. So, the branch was holding the account, not the bank. But now it is one bank. So, you can open account anywhere, but you can operate it from anywhere. ATM, it is all connected. Likewise, in case of RBI, RBI has so many offices. So, a bank has, say, Punjab National Bank has account in RBI Hyderabad office and also in RBI Lucknow office. Earlier, it used to be separate account. But now, if this core banking solution, that becomes one account for the bank. Simple solution like CBS or any other bank, but in RBI it is called eQuBare. Which of the following statement about government flagship scheme DAY NRLM is not true? DAY NRLM was launched in 2011, correct. It was launched by Ministry of Rural Development, yes. It is primarily funded by World Bank. It is also true. It aims at effective and efficient institutional platform to enable the rural poor to increase their household income. True. All of the above. Of course, that becomes the right answer here. You can read all about NRLM. So, it started like Ajivika program by Government of India Rural Development Department in 2011 and organizing more than 80 million poor women into 7.5 million SHG. Self-help group is the concept in NRLM to promote savings, to promote sustainable livelihoods and to promote women empowerment. GDP Deflator, a theoretical question. You shall know this type of thing when you are reading from the book. It is a type of price index. GDP Deflator is measuring the level of price of all new domestically produced final goods and services in the economy. Like CPI, the GDP Deflator is a measure of the price inflation deflation with respect to a specific base year. So, if you see the formula, then you will appreciate it better. Nominal GDP versus real GDP. If you multiply it by 100, and that is the GDP deflator. So, you understand that real GDP is when we are excluding inflation. So, in nominal GDP, what happens that the actual price of today are taken into account. While, say for example, 10 years back, a car was having price of 10 lakh rupees and today it is 15 lakh rupees. So despite of no increase in the production of the car, you will read that GDP has increased, because GDP is the value of the goods and services produced in a given period of time. But real GDP, there is no increase in the car production over 10 years. So this is taken care by GDP deflator. Which of the following statement about multiplier effect are true? Multiplier effect: when the government spends a rupee, overall income rises by a multiple more than a rupee. Yeah. Government spending will also encourage private investment and consumer spending. In multiplier effect, the government bears huge losses on tax front. There is no logic of this, because what happens, and that is the reason when there is a recession, government spends money. So overall it multiplies. So government, say in any scheme, say MNREGA, government has spent say 1000 crore rupees. So 1000 crore rupees goes into the pocket of somebody who was working in MNREGA. So out of that 1000 crore rupees, they will say save 200 crore rupees, and then 800 crore rupees they will spend. So these laborers, these workers in MNREGA, so they will spend that 800 crore rupees. That again goes into the economy. So when they spend, that becomes somebody's income. So that person again, say shopkeeper, they buy things from shops. So the shopkeeper earns, and then shopkeeper also will do some amount of saving, and then rest he will spend. So that is how the multiplier effect works. Government spending also increases private investment, because as I said, when people will earn more, so there will be more consumer spending, there will be more private investment. When the private companies or private sector sees the opportunity of income rising, of the economy doing good, so there is more private investment also coming in. There is no implications of the tax, so don't get confused here. Which of the following best describes tokenization as per RBI? So tokenization, it's a issue of a token number by the bank to visit a bank on a set date. We are not talking about this tokenization. A code to replace the actual credit card details. A code generated to carry out RTGS transaction online. A token generated to allow third-party transfer which has a validity period of a month. Issue of token under retail direct scheme. The correct answer is, it is a code to replace the actual credit card detail, because credit card frauds, especially in online transactions, are increasing. So this tokenization had been brought into place. So when the card number was getting shared, so instead of that, a token, instead of that card number, a unique token for every card number will be getting shared, so that the card details can be protected. You must see these kind of news come, and you have to read it. Read it carefully. Under the new guideline, online players are required to delete all credit card and debit card information stored on their platform and replace with them with token in order to secure the card data of the customer. When you shop in most of the website, that is Amazon or Flipkart, any customer site, most of the site ask you your permission to save the card detail, and they say that it will be easier for you. Yeah, it is easier. Of course, it is easier. Next time you need not to enter the card details, but your card details are getting stored. So there is a risk. If there is a data theft, there can be huge loss for you. So this tokenization is helping in that. Please read newspaper articles carefully. You will learn also from there. Good governance index is being replaced by which agency? Options are here. It is replaced by DARPG. Has developed good governance index for 10 key sectors across 58 indicators. These indicators can be used to assess the status of the governance and impact of various interventions taken up by the state government and union territories for improving the governance. The first edition of the GGI is Good Governance Index, released by DRPG on December 25th, 2020 on the occasion of the Good Governance Day. So you get this information also. This becomes the Good Governance Day. This is birthday of one important politician, ex-prime minister of country. You have to find out. Ingram, don't get confused with Instagram. It is Ingram is a grievance redressal mechanism for the stakeholders involved with respect to. Have you heard about it? This is about consumer right protection. Department of Consumer Affairs has set up an integrated grievance redressal mechanism in GRAM. So half of you will feel when this question comes in exam, that's a typo. Then people will write, sir, there was a typing mistake. Don't worry. So in GRAM, for bringing all stakeholders such as consumers, central state government agencies, private companies, regulator, ombudsman on a single online IT platform for respect of any kind of customer grievances. RBI and the Monetary Authority of Singapore announced a project to link their respective fast payment system. What is the name of Singapore's fast payment system? And you have to answer this question by writing in the comment. In the first video also I saw good participation. What happens when you make some effort in finding out this? You will learn. Please understand, we are here to help you, but you have to make consistent effort for your success. Anyone who has never made any mistake has never tried anything new. So don't worry about you making mistake when you are making these efforts, because by making small mistakes you are realizing that these are the things I have to stop doing. And until you realize that yourself, whatever we say is our experience. So we will keep on adding our experience, but you keep trying yourself so that you know what to do and what not to do. I will be coming up with the answer of this question and another 20 questions in the next video. If you have any question, feel free to reach to us at 920-5524-028 or write to us at hello@ixamBee.com. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. See you.